Do we have any questions thus far in our expensive talk? You there?
Even with the chain, they still like gnaw through the leg.
Well, they'll gnaw through your leg is what probably will happen. So you should chew a lot of gum. Yeah. No. Not anymore.
How do you escape abduction?
Well, I think we'll probably get to that, but you know the best way is, remember the chain part? Yarn is another thing, and what you can do is if you tie yarn around yourself somewhere, you start following that back. You're going to find it. It's going to go into some woods. It'll open up into a well. Go down the well, dig around, and you'll find it.
So I thought the monsters were going to steal your peanut butter, but now I'm supposed to put it on my windowsill?
Listen, it's all connected, man. It's all connected. You got to start putting it together. You got to listen. It's making sense to me. In the back.
Yes. Have you heard of the Cuban Solenodon?
I have no idea what you're saying. What language is that?
Have you?
Je parle français?
English, serious talk. Have you heard of the Cuban Solenodon?
No. Are they part of this?
Yes.
All right.
So,
Great.
What about the jelly?
Well, jelly has its own uses. I basically, even right now, I coated the inside of my garments with a grape jelly product. And it's basically armor against fratu and haunts of all sorts. So you're going to want to do that. You can buy jelly. There's this thing called the Walmart Mart, and they have this. No, they do. And they have this jelly, and you can buy it in like backpacks and stuff. It's really, you want to coat it inside your clothes. Hello.
Yes, I'm worried about monsters getting in my muffin stash, so...
That's what I'm saying.
Do you help against that also?
Well, bees do. You know, bees are on our side, and that's why they're coming down. So you want to get, if you can get a hold of, how many here have hives of bees? Great, awesome. So if you can get some bees in your house, like, the bees will protect the muffins. Monsters hate bees.
That's great, I have a bee collection.
Well, then I think you're ahead of a lot of the other folks here that are unbelievers. One more, yes.
When you smear the peanut butter all over the windows, wouldn't the monster be able to break the windows anyway?
Not anymore. Because, you know, basically, you guys realize that peanut butter is like a +2 thing, right? +2. Chunky, +2.5. That you know, they like walking on those peanuts. So that, you know, it's a good defensive thing. One more question, I'm going to move on. You in the back.
Are there beneficial monsters, or are all monsters evil by definition?
Well, no.
Well, you know, I was abducted by some circus goblins, red goblin circus guys, and they were, at first I thought they were going to hurt me because they hurt a lot of other folks, but they were pretty nice, really. I mean, they let me ride on the rides, and you know, I got to wear the funny hat, so they weren't really that bad, but some are real terrible, terrible people. Yeah, so how to avoid being you can't really. If you're not a monsterologist of the fourth order, you don't really have a lot of chances. But I want to help you. You get a lot of money to be here today, and you've taken my photo a lot, so I'm going to try to help. Paranoia is helpful. So you really, really, really need to get some glasses, and these are not normal glass. But you need to look at the real world. There's some real weird stuff going on. I mean, there's water spouts, there's narwhals, there's all these things that are unreal and unhealthy. You can go aggro on the monsters. I mean, that usually works. I mean, if you got like if you've got boxing gloves, if you have a lot of mint gum, I mean, those are great ways to really fight back and go aggro in a situation. I mean, a lot of people go passive when the hood comes over your head and you wake up on the pallet and your feet are all seamed. Again, monsterology, that's the greatest defense against abduction. Another thing is stay in groups, stay in flocks, stay in swarms. So if you can really keep in groups of 50 to 60 people, that's really, like all the time. I think being at these comic conventions is really like one of the safest places you could ever be. At a comic convention, you've got you don't know who the monsters are, but a lot of them are you guys, and it's pretty good. You can really blend in there. So if you can just stay at a convention all the time, I'm at a convention like half the time, but if you get it all the time, you're going to be really a lot better. Hello.
Hello. What are some typical monster disguises so that we know
Well,
what to look out for?
Thick mustaches, because they fear this. You know this, man. You tell them.
It's true.
Yes. Done. Everybody's convinced. What was your question?
What are some typical monster disguises?
Oh, yes.
What do they disguise themselves as?
They'll wear hats. They look like mailmen a lot. They'll wear a vest. Sometimes they have male pattern baldness problems. I don't know, man. They'll do anything. I mean, they wear galoshes. I mean, it's parasols. Have you seen these? Do they look like Aladdin? Now, when Monsterologist school, it starts. How old are you? 9. So at 10, you can join like the Monsterologist League. It's like a junior league, and you can pay your dues, and you'll start learning the truth. Apparently, there's a best offense. Wow. Yes. Aside from that, oh yes, yes, the big bad mustache. Watch. Ready? I don't think any of the other panels have such multimedia capabilities. I mean, that was like 3 frames a minute. I scared myself when I'm like, what was I doing, man? But yeah, it's a big bad mustache. +3 mustaches are really the best. You don't want to, I mean, a +1 it'll help you somewhat. They're sharp. They're scrunchy. But like a +3 and higher, you're going to be able to really cut through their defenses, their ghost armors, their waxes. Because a lot of monsters cut themselves in waxes to protect themselves. Oh, another great defense is just running. How many of you have run before? Clearly I run a lot. Great. So running's pretty good if you're faster than monsters. But here we go. We've got a chart here. You've got about a 2. Troll, about a 3, and a goat, they're pretty fast. So if you like convert this back to your own, yourself and maybe some of the animals around you, you can probably figure out where you stand. But most monsters are on the other side of you. So that's just, running's okay.
Ride the goats.
Should we get goats to like take us away from monsters?
Dude, you want goats all over, man. The Saanen breed of goat, which is a milking goat, is one of your best choices. They're white. They're fairly large goats. I'm a goat friend, and so you don't want to. Yeah, no, we don't. So we don't want to eat the goat, but they're. You saw that beast back there with the long. Yeah, so they don't really like each other. That was Krampus, and goats and Krampus don't get along. Yo.
Do goatees provide any sort of protection?
Well, a goatee it's like a junior version. I don't want to demean you, but yeah, it's the it'll help. It's like a +0.5 defense. The ladies, if you're a good crafter, you can make them out of fun foam. If you glue hair to it, like human hair to it, it's a fun craft, really. I mean, people are picking it up all over. We've had some crafting classes where people were, making mosh beards and so on. So I don't know. All those are great ways to go. Think. You got to think smart. So look at that. Think smart. That really tells you everything you need to know. Wear a helmet, right? You wear a helmet most of the time. That's going to protect you because a lot of times they're hitting you on the head with little tiny wooden mallets. Sometimes they use a hardened rubber. Also a Ebola or boomerang. So if you get yourself a good helmet, you're going to really be good. This is an East German helmet that I got for less than $30. So, helmets are good.